I too have been here 23 years. And it is a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mosette, and here is your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, welcome one and all to episode 808, the Cowboy Edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, as the Seahawks get ready to take on the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. So please put your tray table up, place your seats back in their full upright position, settle in for a desired center beverage of your choice, and what can I tell you? Maybe the Patriots should have thrown it at the one? See where that got them? I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. So glad to be here for our 182nd episode. So let's meet the posse for this episode. First, the yin to my yang, Matt from merry old England. Oh, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Oh, Matt, we are spectacular. How are you, sir?
I'm really well, thank you. I've got no complaints, none whatsoever.
Wonderful. Well, that's highly unusual. You got plenty of tea down.
Yeah, it's a totally positive channel, total positive day.
If you listened to our show last week, he had 2 bags of tea. Now you probably have 200, right?
I had a delivery come in from the supermarket. I now have plenty of tea, plenty of coffee.
Fantastic.
All good.
So glad. All good. And someone else who's all good is our news hound, Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
Wonderful, sir. How about yourself?
Oh, not so great. I'm actually running low on tea myself. So.
Oh, no! Well, at least you're in America where it doesn't matter.
That's true.
Yeah, true.
Go to that dock where they throw it all in the water. It'll still be there.
Back in Boston. Someone who's never thrown tea in the water, as far as I know, is Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? You had an interesting week, did you not?
I did indeed. I was going to save that for the injury report, but
sorry.
I'm on it, and I'll elaborate later.
Spoiler alert.
All right, injury report. Get ready. How's Kona, our 12-man Fan Jam Show dog?
Confused as shit because I won't play with her.
And that's why she's our dog. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Poor Kona.
Yeah.
So, well, listen. Let's just see how this episode's going to go. This episode 808. Fat Tony?
Very well. Let's do this thing.
Yes, let's get this show started. The show is broken into 4 quarters and a halftime. Quarter 1 is the 12-man Fan Jam Show news report with all the news around the NFL and otherwise. Quarter 2, we will take a second to look back on that wonderful, thrilling game between the Patriots and the Seahawks from last week. And of course, 2-minute warning, we'll do our prediction challenge and see how everybody did on their predictions for that game. Halftime is the best Seahawk-themed trivia game on the internet. 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia. Otherworld. Matt, 2 in a row. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I'm going for the 3-peat. The second half is when we take all our information and we talk all about the Seahawks and the Cowboys. In quarter 3, we have our injury report, we have our news and our weather, and we have our sermon. But we're going to have something new and daring at the start of quarter 3, something that I haven't done on this show before. A little nervous, but you might want to stay tuned for quarter 3. So something new tonight. And then quarter 4, we take all of that information, we put it together, and we make our predictions, our game balls, our prognostications for the game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday. But before we do all that, we like to remind you, like, share, subscribe to Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Please join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We have a game day thread that we love to be on. Everyone comes on. It's a lot of fun. We're also on Twitter, Seahawk Positivity. Email 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. Drop us a line, say hi. Check us out on iTunes and Podbean if you so desire. All right, let's get to the first quarter and news. Yes, news from around the NFL. It's our news hound Will with the 12-man Fan Jam Show news report, brought to you by our sponsor, the Jerry Jones Glory Hole Hole Puncher. Looking for that glory hole? Look no further. Jerry Jones has the Glory Hole Hole Puncher. Find glory holes in even the most stubborn and overrated places like the Dallas Cowboy franchise. Jerry Jones pre-team lat seatbelt sold separately. Will, what you got for us?
Well, Moses, despite having his team lose to Seattle in a rather dramatic fashion this week, it's hard to say that it was a bad week for Patriots owner Robert Kraft because just this past week, the misdemeanor count of solicitation that was filed against Kraft last year has officially been dismissed. So he has no longer has any legal proceedings against him. An appeals court actually recently ruled that the secretly installed video cameras that recorded the footage that there's no way in hell I would ever want to watch actually violated the rights of Kraft and others who were caught on camera. And once that happened, prosecutors decided not to appeal to Florida Supreme Court, dismissed the charges. And so it's, once again, Robert Kraft got off.
So confirmed. Rich white dude
Wow.
with everything. Got it.
Robert, and that should be the headlines. The headlines should be Robert Kraft got off again. Wow. You know, Robert Kraft just keeps getting off everywhere, Matt.
Well, if you've got enough money and you're the right skin color in America, you can do what the hell you like.
Ooh.
Yeah, you get a happy ending.
Oh,
That's true.
You know,
Yeah.
I guess it was. I don't know if I don't think we should probably just stop right there, shouldn't we? Probably for
Nah.
one more. Obviously, Robert Kraft this happy since Cam Newton was joined the team, which wouldn't make anyone happy. I don't even know if that's even a joke.
Explain why Cam Newton had that. Or what is that with? Damn it!
Oh, come on!
Oh, man.
Something about Mary hair.
Oh, enough said right there. At least Kraft can't complain about getting screwed by the refs anymore, I guess. No, I don't know. I got nothing. We're moving on. Will, what else you got for us? Save us, Will. We're drowning.
Okay, Moses. Well, this one actually involves Dolphins quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, as you know, has played for literally one quarter of the league, 8 teams.
I love him. He's awesome. Go ahead.
Well, he actually made history Thursday night. He became the first player since 1950 to beat one team as a member of 6 different clubs.
Wow. Nice.
Because Ryan Fitzpatrick, when he was with the Bengals, the Bills, the Titans, the Texans, the Jets, and now the Dolphins, he beat the Jacksonville Jaguars with all 6 of those clubs.
That's awesome.
Sadly, he never got a chance to play against the Jaguars when he was with the Rams or the Buccaneers. So, unfortunately, his record is still 6 of the 8 teams he played for. But, you know, sooner or later, he's going to play for every team in the league. So there's a chance
awesome.
He'll beat the Jaguars with even more teams down the line.
That's amazing. You know, I'm glad you brought him up because my son and I were talking about him last night. We were watching the game. Now, just hear me out, Dustin. Just hear me out.
Okay.
You know, Fitzpatrick is what my son would call, and I think accurately, a bridge quarterback. He's the guy that's going to come in. He's going to give you a year or two. You've got a new young gun. Everybody wants to see play, but he's not ready yet. So he comes in and he plays, and he does that willingly. He's done that for so many teams. He comes in, he plays a season or two, they get the guy they want, and then he goes off his merry way, right?
Yeah.
And really, I mean, this is kind of a big deal because he never complains. He doesn't complain about getting benched. He doesn't complain. He knows every time he goes somewhere, he knows that's what's going to happen. So I think because it's unique that he should have maybe not in the Hall of Fame, but I think he should have a special spot in the Hall of Fame that says, you know, this guy was a really great guy, and he did this for so many teams. He come in, he played for a year or two. The other guy, if you go through the history of the NFL, there hasn't been a better bridge quarterback in the history of the NFL. Doesn't he get some notoriety for that? Shouldn't he get recognized?
I mean, I guess so. It's like it'd probably be harder than to get the DH in baseball in the Hall of Fame.
True.
But I like where your head's at there. We actually had an award when I was coaching football. It's called the Lunch Pail Award.
Yeah, right.
It was for the dude that he went to work. He did playing. And that's kind of what he's been doing for several teams, you know, a lot of the league for several years now. So
without complaining.
Sure.
And he's a great guy. He's very funny. They were talking about him and Minshew. They were calling it the beard against the mustache game. And he was like really into it, saying how, you know, well, that kid can't grow a beard anyway. It's patchy everywhere. It just, you know, and my wife hates my beard. And at the time he wore Deshaun Jackson's outfit to the press conference. And he's a great guy. And he never complains. And he knows, like, he's in Miami. Okay, Tua's behind him. He knows in a year or so he's going to be gone. But he doesn't complain. What do you think, Matt? Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay.
Moving on.
Well, And with that being said,
Okay.
Dustin, you had another news story you wanted to share.
Yeah, that is true. They're talking about it on ESPN radio here. It's the first I heard about it. I went and looked it up. So Marshawn Lynch, I don't know how many MMA fans are out there right now listening to the show, but Marshawn Lynch went on Ariel Hawani's podcast today, and he is he's like the leading MMA reporter. And apparently Marshawn is going to be calling karate fights for the Pro Karate League.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, combat karate. It's freaking crazy.
Oh! I can hear it.
Yeah.
I just sweep the legs so I don't get fined.
Right? So it's him, and he's actually going to be doing it with MMA legend Bas Rutten. So it's legit. And
cool.
there's actually some audio of it on TMZ already that you can look up.
I'm sure that's spectacular.
I'll send it to Dennis. He can throw it in the video if he wants. If you guys want to see it, it's already freaking hilarious.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure Marshawn will not let us down in that. And I know he had mentioned kind of half-heartedly he didn't mention retirement either. From what I heard last conversation talk about Seahawks, that he'd still like to play. So
yeah, that and not only that, but he talked about how his all he knows about fighting sports he learned from the Karate Kid. So.
Sweep the leg! Sweep the leg!
Take care of y'all, chicken. Get him a body bag.
Oh, excellent. We're going to take care of our chickens right now. Will, thank you so much.
Anytime, Moses.
And Dustin, thanks for the cameo.
Hey, loved it. Thank you.
All right, man. That's the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up on this boys episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Lots of show left. Cowboy game predictions, but next we look back at last week's thriller over the Patriots. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
That's the fact, Jack!
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
All right, it's the second quarter, episode 808 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, the Cowboys Edition, the best pregame tradition since Jell-O shots. We are here to discuss in quarter two last week's game, and it was a crazy one in this case. Seahawks beat the Patriots 35-30 last play of the game. Cam Newton, my son, told me 80% of the time that he ran the ball from the one in his career he has scored. He definitely didn't on that last play. I'm sure we want to talk about that. But Matt, what were your thoughts about the game?
Again, letting Russ cook, letting him get out there, make some throws, make stuff happen. I was listening to a lot of comments. I didn't actually get to watch this game live. I got to watch it just at the end because it was a late night one for over here. So I didn't get to watch it live with you guys. But when I woke up and I had a look and I saw the last play and everything, and I thought, well, yeah, that kind of sums this game up. Apart from the fact that I don't think it was that close. I don't think we should let old man Olsen's cataract, inability to catch a ball fool anyone. If that score hadn't have happened, we wouldn't have been talking about this being such a close game.
True.
I think Russ was, for me, in supreme form. I think there was a little overstretched towards the end there with that third from one, which seemed it's just strange. I don't know why they did that play call, and I don't know whether that was overcooking.
That was kind of a gamble. That third and one was kind of a gamble, wasn't it?
I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand that.
Because it stopped the clock too.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't get it. I don't understand where that came from in your head as to why you would think that was a good idea. But in any case, I think Cam Newton was impressive. I don't think that the whole East Coast media needed to talk about him every single day, every single hour of that after that game, and not mention Russ's game really at all, and just talk about how great Cam looked. Well, Cam didn't look that good when he was flipped upside down, slapped on his back, and didn't win. Didn't look that good then.
Although Russell is getting a lot of MVP hype right now, so
yeah, he is now, but he won't be. Yeah.
That's true.
I would be surprised if Cam gets it for that, for that amazing comeback and following on in Brady's footsteps, bollocks. So it just annoys me. It's just the East Coast; they don't want to talk about the West Coast ever. It just annoys me.
Yeah. Well, but also, playing devil's advocate. Here's a guy that didn't have a job. Nobody really wanted him, and now he's on one of the most prestigious teams in NFL history, in the Patriots with Belichick, and he came very close to beating Seattle in Seattle, and this is a very good Seattle team. So. I kind of get it a little bit, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. They should talk more about Wilson and his 5 touchdowns. And what is it? He has like I think he has like 11 incompletions and 9 touchdowns or something stupid like that.
Something stupid like that, yeah.
Yeah, 11 incompletions, 9 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, what were your thoughts?
10 touchdowns if you count the one that went to the wrong team.
True. Good point. What were your thoughts of the game, Will?
Well, again, I was impressed with. I thought our offense looked amazing. I thought our defense looked frustrating, but I think a big part of that was losing Quandre Diggs to an ejection and then Marquise Blair to the knee injury in short order.
Yeah,
I think that really, Carroll wouldn't say it. I don't think anybody would admit to it. I think that really changed a lot of what we were planning on doing on defense, and that made things difficult. And we do need help. We do need edge rush help. We're going to see Elton Robinson this week. We've got Jordan Brooks going to start this week. Wouldn't surprise me if Shaquem Griffin gets called up from the practice squad this week.
Right.
But I thought Carroll made a good point when he said, we got 1 sack and we just missed on 4, because I thought that was the most impressive part of Newton's game, was that he avoided the pass rush when we did have one. Mm-hmm. And that does change a lot of the narrative if we hit home on a couple of those. Yeah. You can say that the defensive line is still our biggest problem right now, the pass rush, and I would agree. But again, you get a couple of those sacks, a couple of those were on third downs. This game's not even close. So
good point.
I think we're a little closer than it looks right now. We're not going to have a front four that's going to be. We're not going to have a front four like the Rams had back in their glory days, but we could field a decent front four. We could have a decent pass rush with a fair amount of blitzing worked in. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But I think we're closer than it looks right now.
Couple things about defense. First thing, Dustin, I'm going to throw us around too. Again, Little Mo being brilliant. Little Mo says, when Diggs gets thrown out, he was very upset, of course. But then he said something, and I've been sharing this with people. Like, man, that's a great point. I'm like, yeah, well, it's not mine. It's my 14-year-old son. And here it is. Okay, if you're going to throw him out of the game for the hit, and I'm not really even complaining about that because I know it's a new rule.
I know where you're going with this.
Where's the concussion protocol for the guy he hit? If it's that bad, that guy shouldn't be allowed on the field. Or at least say, look, as long as that receiver can't be on the field, your guy can't be on the field. But if he's fine, then you let the guy back in. But you kicked the guy out and didn't even go through concussion protocol. What is that about?
Good point.
Yeah. So first thing I want to say is that going back to your Jell-O shot thing you said, Dennis, if you're going to do that, guys, strawberry Jell-O, Malibu rum.
No, it has to be green and blue. And green and blue. And it has to be lime, and then I think it's like a blueberry thing. Yeah, you Seahawks, man. It's got to be green.
I just gave you the recipe for the best one.
Yeah, go ahead.
However, the concussion protocol thing is something that's super interesting to me. I completely agree 100% that if you're ejecting a player for a hit head-to-head, helmet to helmet, that person that was the victim of that or supposed victim of that needs to be in the tent getting checked out.
Absolutely. And he never took the play off.
I'm pretty sure he jumped up and went in on the next play, right?
Yeah, well, he acted hurt until he threw the flag and he was fine. Which I'm not complaining about. Look, and Diggs and him have had it out on Twitter and they've hugged it out and everybody's good. And, I didn't mean to do it. I know you didn't. And the guy said, I don't think you did on purpose. And, it's all good. But if they're going to have this rule, then what about the guy that gets hit? I mean, I feel like he should have to.
Yeah, that rule's in place for player safety.
Yeah.
And if you're just going to throw the guy out, that's not player safety. That is saving your ass in a lawsuit, making it look like you care about it.
Mm-hmm.
The player safety aspect is actually taking that guy back and looking at him and making sure he's okay.
I don't have a problem with there needing to be a concussion protocol. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't really have a problem with the ejection either. I don't like the idea of throwing players out for a whole game though, because I think there's some lessons here from rugby where you're able to say, actually, you're going to sit out for a quarter.
Yeah,
you're going to have a sit down, and you're going to have your coach is going to talk to you. Your coach is going to get you back into the frame of mind that you're going to be more aware of what you're doing with your head or leading with your head or whatever. And if it is serious, if there is a real injury, if there was concussion, if the opposing player is out of the game because of concussion or whatever, then so are you.
Yes.
it automatically you go out as well for the rest
Agreed.
of the game too.
That is
Agreed.
a super interesting thought. You're looking at it more like hockey, to be honest, the
little
penalty box essentially.
Well,
Yeah,
and I'd like to see
Mhm.
Matt instead of just a quarter, because then you say, well, what if there's 2 seconds left? How about 15 or 20 minutes of game time on the clock from wherever
Yeah,
you like?
Or
If
not
it's
even that.
8:38.
I think if I was going to do that, I would be for a series, 2 series. I think that's how I would measure it.
Okay.
Or a half.
Well, we-
Again, I just think chucking him out for the whole of the game for a single hit to me is either, I just think it's over the top. I just think it's too much. Unless, of course, the player he hit is injured, taken off, not allowed to
Exactly.
return, whatever,
Agreed.
then he can go as well.
That is
Agreed.
a-
Well,
I
and we
love
were-
that point. That's super interesting.
We were actually fortunate in a way that it happened so early in the game,
Yes.
because essentially, for all intents and purposes, he was suspended for a game.
Yeah.
The one that he had the hit on. If that had happened late in the fourth quarter, honestly, I think the league would have said, nope, you're out for the upcoming game.
Right. Yeah, probably. You're probably right.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to bring up, which is a little bit more positive, and it's this. You know, my son and I, of course, you don't have preseason, and guys' numbers change on the defense. You don't know who's who. And I'm like, wow, the first game, I'm like, wow, Jerron Reed's having a great game. And all of a sudden we see Jerron Reed with number 90 on. I'm like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
who's 91? LJ freaking Collier, folks. Supposedly a bust last year, has had 2 really solid games.
Especially at the end.
Let's give him some credit. And
Yep.
not just even that play, but just let's give LJ Collier some credit. He looks like he's putting on about 40 pounds of muscle anyway. But he just is a totally looking different guy. And he looks like a starting defensive lineman. Let's give him a little credit, because Matt, we wrote him off last year almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, players learn. I mean, like, the great thing about the Seattle team, I think, is that it gives players the ability to not get pigeonholed, to not get sort of left behind. They can up their game. It's always compete mentality.
Yep.
And that's exactly what he's doing. And this is, this proves to me that Pete and the team know what they're doing.
Yeah. One more last thing, and then we're going to go 2-minute warning. Offensively, everyone to talk about. Great offensive game. But the job that DK Metcalf did on the reigning defensive player of the year, 4 catches, 92 yards, a touchdown. It was absolutely, it was phenomenal. I mean, how special was that kid on Sunday night?
Well, this is the big receiver that Pete has wanted ever since he got here,
Yes.
and he has him. And my bold prediction was Metcalf as first team All-Pro. If he has a few more games like this, it could happen, because he went up against a guy who didn't allow a touchdown all last season.
Oh yeah,
and basically scored
him.
one with
Shredded him.
Gilmore draped all over his back. So
shredded him.
yeah,
Absolutely shredded him.
watching Metcalf is going to be fun. And really quick, let's give a little shout out to Michael Dixon, NFC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Absolutely, punting spectacularly.
Booming punts all game long, pinning New England deep in their territory, inside their own 10 3 times. Great job by the Aussie there.
Absolutely, I agree. Anything left for go 2-minute warning? Will, Dustin, Matt?
Yeah. I am really impressed with Pete Carroll is super old. I don't know if you guys know this. He is super old. Oldest coach in the league, right? And he has just been sticking for years and years to this philosophy and how he wants to play the game, right?
Yeah.
We finally reached a point. No, I don't know if you guys can hear Kona, but she's going off. But
You mentioned Pete Carroll. I understand.
yeah. So he is finally kind of giving in a little bit on his philosophy and allowing the offense to do what the offense needs to do. He's not coaching for the team he wants. He's coaching the team he has.
Yes.
And he's letting Russell do his thing. And dude, it's magic. It's been magical so far. And I think if they allow that to continue, it's going to continue to be magic.
Well, the first game we had about 20 rushes for 85 yards or something like that, which is very, very, very good. And this time 30 rushes for 150 yards. We can still run the ball if we had to. There's no doubt about that. I think it just makes us more versatile. But yeah, I how many times last year we knew we were going to run on first down, or 2 years ago, we're going to run on first down. The whole stadium knew it.
Yeah.
And he was just so stubborn on that. And you're right, letting Russell cook and this offense is really, really, I think, just getting started, Matt.
And we brought back the screen pass,
Yes.
not to receivers. The bubble screen was never effective for us.
No.
We brought back screen pass to running backs.
Yeah.
And then you can tell Russell has more say in what's being called
Yes.
during the game.
Yes.
And I think last year, whenever the headset went out and Russell called the whole series and then he scored a touchdown, I think that plays a lot into what's happening this year.
Yeah.
Because him and Shoddy's up in the box, but Russell this year, the first game, they're trying to bring out the field goal team on the one play to kick a field goal, and Russell just stared down the team and was like, no, I got this. Threw a touchdown to Metcalf down the left side on that play.
Yep.
So the fact that they're letting him make those calls, it's almost like he's the assistant offensive coordinator right now, and he's seeing it from the field.
And that might get him more MVP votes.
Yeah.
Matt, they're lethal on offense.
Yeah, absolutely. But then that isn't a surprise to me. I don't know why people seem to think that's a surprise. I think, again, if you are going to run, one of the things that annoy me is when you're third and 16 and we run that ball where that's like why Pete Carroll was so insistent that he would always run the ball, establish to run, and he never really want to go very far away from that. And as I agree entirely with Dustin, it is so sometimes last season was too easy for all of us to know exactly what play was about to happen. Too easy. Everyone knew it was going to happen.
Absolutely.
And got stuffed. So right now, I haven't got a clue half the time what's going to happen on offense, and I love that about the Seahawks at the moment.
One last point.
This honestly looks like the most balanced Seahawk offense I've ever seen.
Yes.
Through 2 games. I mean, we can win through the air, we can win through the ground. Give us whichever, and we'll beat you with it.
And one last point for 2-minute warning. This is 2 games in a row, gentlemen, that we have not talked about the offensive line, which has been more than adequate, even I think above average, in giving Russell time to throw the ball and running and pass protecting. I think they are doing an outstanding job up front. And where we're used to seeing, Russell having to run around every snap or getting 8 sacks a game, these guys are playing really, really well up front.
Yep.
So
they really are so much better than before.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I still love the fact that Russ still has that read option weapon available to him.
Me too.
That it's not gone away. He's not so injured or old or whatever that he can't do it anymore. That's a third weapon. He's got his deep ball throws. He's got his running backs that he can hand off to, and he's got that read option. And the tight end group is really starting to come to its own. Apart from Greg Olsen, who obviously still has to go.
And it sure seems like at the line of scrimmage, he has that Peyton Manning ability, or like the leash is off. So he has that ability to say what he wants, do what he wants, call what play he wants from the line of scrimmage too, which is awesome.
So keep the leash off of Russell.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I don't know if Sierra would agree with that, but we'll.
That's a different podcast for a different time.
That's between them.
Yeah, and with that being said, we will go to the 2-minute warning.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
All right, 2-minute warning. Let's see how we fared last week in our posse prediction challenge. Remember how close it was? It's going to change. First, the score 35-30. Guess what? Little Mo said 35 points for the Seahawks, so he got 3 points. Mike Pascal got the closest, 31-27. That's pretty good. Prognostications. Mark Ty Turner said Adams would have 10 tackles, so I gave it to him. Game balls. Little Mo and Jose get one for Adams. That might be a problem because he might get one every week. Mike for Metcalf.
Hold on. Did I not get one? Did I not get my points for a touchdown on our opening drive?
Oh, you're right, Matt.
There was one. I mean, it may not have been.
Oh, no. That was a pick 6. You're trying to fool me, dude.
You never said what team would get
that. All right, no. Has to be the Seahawks scoring on the opening drive.
You didn't say that ahead of time, sir.
No.
Wow.
1 point to Mark Ty Turner for saying Adams who had 10 tackles. Game balls. Little Mo and Jose for Adams.
Biased judges.
Mike for Metcalf. Jimmy, Dustin, Matt, and Moses for Carson, and Chris for Lockett. Okay, over and under was over. A point to Little Mo, Jose, Mike, Chris, Matt, and me, meaning that the big week 2 winner was Little Mo. Little Mo got 5 points. Mike got 3. Jose, Matty, and Moses got 2. Mark, Jimmy, Dustin, Chris, and Andy got 1.
Then there's me.
And then there's you. After 2 games... We've all scored after 2 games. That's what I said. After 2 games, Moses and Little Mo tied at 6. Mike at 5. Jose at 4. Jimmy, Matty 3. Mark, Dustin, Chris at 2. Carrie, Will, and Andy at 1. As we go to week 2, as we go to week 3, the team scores: Team 12, 21. Team Posse, 15. So they're starting to stretch it out a little bit, fellas. We got to reel them in this weekend.
Wow.
So,
Can you win the game in the first quarter?
No. I don't know when you win it. You win it when it's over. And hopefully this won't be over to the Super Bowl. But anyway, as always on Sunday, please, before the game, we will post everyone's scores, game balls, and prognostications on the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook game day thread wall for all to see. We want you to join us. Post your own score, your own game ball, your own prognostication. Let's see how you do. And you can tell us how you kicked our butts this next week about the Cowboys game. But let's go to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
Oh, coming up, we got so much more show. But first, it's another wonderful edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And that is coming up next!
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia of the World.
Yikes.
Our posse and our listeners. Oh, my Lord. Our contestants are the posse themselves. Will, Matt, and Dustin. God help us hear the rules.
So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-Man Fan Jam Show Trivia Champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
All right. Wow. If your eardrums are still there.
What?
Matt is the Dustin. That gets better and better. I've got to tell you, it gets better. Maddie, 1, 2, or 3.
I'll have a 2, please.
All right. Will, 1 or 3?
What?
1 or 3?
1.
Okay. Dustin, you have 3.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All righty then.
All right.
So, obviously it's the Cowboys and then something that's about the Cowboys. Here we go. Will, yours is a football question. It's not a good one, but it's a football question.
Well, I can only expect so much.
Yeah, I know. Hey, the first time the Seahawks played the Cowboys was back in 1976. How many turnovers did both teams have in that game? 1, 2, or 3? Dance!
Total or each?
Each team had 1, 2, or 3 turnovers in that game.
I thought this was going to be a glory hole question.
Well, we were an expansion. We were an expansion team, so I'm guessing we screwed up a lot. I'm going to go with 3.
He's going to go 3. You know, there are not a lot of glory hole trivia questions out there, Dustin.
I just assumed Jerry had a bunch of them back then.
You
Well,
are in
not-
the wrong places, sir.
Not suitable for this podcast, anyway.
No, not questions. You said 3. Little Mo and Mosette also said 3. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was 1. They both had 1, believe it or not.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maddie, hello.
Hello.
Yours is also a football question.
Okay.
The first time the Seahawks defeated the Cowboys in Seattle was what year? What year was the first time the Seahawks beat the Cowboys in Seattle? 2000, 2001, or 2002?
2002.
2002. Mosette said 2002. Isn't that interesting?
Oh dear.
Little Mo said 2001. Yeah, Little Mo was right. 2001.
Wow.
First time the Seahawks beat the Cowboys in Seattle. All right, Dustin, here you go. This is about Dallas. The TV show Dallas took place at a place called the South Fork Ranch. What's the real name of the place they filmed the show? Was it called Duncan Acres? Was it called the Horseshoe Ranch? Or was it actually called the South Fork Ranch? What is the name of the South Fork Ranch for the TV show Dallas? Duncan Acres, Horseshoe Ranch, or South Fork Ranch?
I don't know. I think Duncan Acres sounds nice.
Sounds like a nice pastoral. Let's go to Duncan Acres. Sit down and watch.
Be like a winery or something. Yeah.
Have a donut.
Yeah.
So are you going with that? So you're going there?
Yeah.
I was thinking Duncan Hines, but yeah. So let's see. Duncan Acres. Well, Mosette said Duncan Acres. Uh-oh. Little Mo said Horseshoe Ranch. No one said South Fork. But that's okay, because Duncan Acres is correct.
Nice.
And that means that you were on the board there, Dustin.
Dallas runs on Duncan.
Dallas runs on Duncan. Who knew? Hold on.
Do they have donuts?
So the second round questions. We'll start with Dustin. You want 4, 5, or 6?
6.
Dustin wants 6. Matt, 4 or 5?
4, please.
4, please. And Will, you get number 5.
Leftovers.
Getting a little testy.
Number 5 is alive.
There you go.
All right, Matt. Your question is about TV show Dallas.
Okay.
How many seasons did it run? How many seasons did a TV show Dallas run? 12 seasons, 13 seasons, or 14 seasons? How many seasons for Dallas, the TV show?
So, well, obviously, I know that the kids must watch this.
Oh, you know they did.
So let's ask the kids.
Because it was only made like 30 years before they were born. So I'm sure they know this. Well, Little Mo and Mosette both said 12. 12, 13, or 14 are your options.
14, then.
I
I was going to go 12 for the obvious link, but I thought now they're both done. I'm not going to do
Isn't that the show where they're trying to figure out who shot JR?
It is indeed.
Yep.
Who shot JR? And my mother knew. And the reason my mother knew is because she read in People magazine that the girl that shot JR did not get her contract renewed. And so she said it's her because she's not coming back. And she was right.
Huh.
12
There you
seasons,
go.
13 seasons, or 14 seasons?
14.
14!
I can't say 12 because the bloody kids are taking it.
Oh. Well, what if the kids are right?
Well, that never happens.
Yeah, you're right. It's 14. Unbelievable.
That's hilarious.
All right, Will. The last time the Seahawks played the Cowboys at home was 2018. How many turnovers did the Cowboys have? 1, 2, or 3? How many turnovers for the Cowboys in 2018 against Seattle?
And you said the options are 1, 2, or 3?
That is correct.
What do the kids say?
Oh. Mosette said 2. Little Mo said 3. Nobody said 1.
I'm going to go 2.
Going with Mosette. Going with 2. Believes in my daughter. Has faith that she will get the... Oh, no. No, it's 3. 3. All right, Dustin.
Yeah.
Here's your question.
Okay.
What are the most points the Cowboys have ever scored against the Seahawks in one game? 45, 49, or 51? Most points the Cowboys have ever scored against the Seahawks in one game. 45, 49, or 51? I enunciated those for dramatic effect. 45, 49, 51.
51.
51.
Unfortunately, I'm going there.
51. 51. 51 is right.
Boo.
And that's a little sad.
Yeah.
So, Dustin has 2. Matt has 1. Will has none. But Will, do not worry. You know why?
Why?
Because it's the final question. Surprise to everyone. It is the final question. We're 2 points. And the order will obviously go Will, Matt, and Dustin. Are you all ready for this?
Hell yeah.
All right. Here we go. Your question is this. Starting with Will. How many total yards of offense did the Seahawks have in their 2007 playoff game against the Cowboys? The one with the famous Romo. How many total yards of offense did the Seahawks have in a 2007 playoff game against the Cowboys?
311 yards.
311. Matt.
315.
315. Dustin.
What?
How many yards of offense did the Seattle Seahawks have in their 2007 playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys?
You played the Cowboys?
Sigh.
Yes.
Okay. And the answers were? I'm sorry, Lindsay just came home a second ago and she's asking for us to bring in groceries. So I'm a little bit on the distracted side right now.
Then answer the question so you can help your wife. How many total yards of offense did the Seahawks have in 2007 playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys? 311, 315, or?
I'm going to say over. Whatever the highest one was, I'm going higher than that.
If anyone would like to join the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, please send your resume to
So
12manfanjamshow@gmail.com.
No, 315 was the highest.
315. All right, I'll say 316.
There you go.
Okay.
Painful.
That wasn't so painful, was it?
Yes, it was.
All right. 311, 315, and 316. The actual number of total yards of offense the Seahawks had in the 2007 playoff game against the Cowboys, 332. I cannot believe, after all of that, Dustin finally figured it out and won the game.
About time.
Congratulations.
Little power.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Order a new trophy.
Yeah, that's not my thing. I don't have to brag about it like Matt does. I know I'm good.
Ooh.
We know you're good. Yeah, okay. Well, hey, listen. Another crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning, amazing, tense edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Of the world.
Of the world.
Super tense.
Wow. Super intense. We'll be back with a second of the show right after this. Turtles, do us a favor and take us out into break.
Turtle power.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Hey, look, it's the third quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Hey, you! Yes, you looking for that glory hole. Like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. And do it now before your cows come home. All right. It's time to get you ready for the Sunday game between your Seattle Seahawks and those Dallas Cowboys. 4:25 Eastern Standard Time. 1:25 on the West Coast. Matt?
9:25 in the evening.
9:25 in the evening. All right. So I had announced earlier some foreshadowing of something I've never done before. So I'm about to do something I've never done before. So let's get into this information. Let's get in the cowboy mood with a little sing-along with Moses. All right. Little ditty from me and my guitar here about the upcoming Seahawk game, played, sometimes recited by yours truly. In this episode, I changed the words to a classic song about Cowboys. So with apologies to the late, great Waylon Jennings and the perpetually stoned Willie Nelson, I proudly present this song, and God bless me for singing because, folks, I couldn't carry a tune if you asked me to, but in fact, I can't right now. I'm too nervous. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to root for Cowboys. Don't let them buy jerseys of Dak and of Zeke. Don't let them think mediocrity's elite.
Ooh.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to root for Cowboys. And tell Jerry Jones and the team that he owns to leave your family alone. Last time the Cowboys were champs, it was 1955. 1995. 55, 95. It feels like 55, doesn't it?
It does.
I'm going to do it again. Last time the Cowboys were champs was in 1995. Most of the Cowboys fan base wasn't even alive.
Nice.
Cowboy fans are obnoxious and rude, and they all kind of stink. They let Jerry Jones tell them all just what they should think. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to root for Cowboys. Don't let them buy jerseys of Romo or Irvin. Get them a team that is way more deserving. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to root for Cowboys. And tell Jerry Jones and that team that he owns to leave your damn family alone. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Well done. Well
Sing
done.
along with Moses.
Moses, unplugged.
Please tip your waiters and waitresses. I'll be here all week. All right, let's move on. Let's see how healthy these teams are by turning to our own doctor, who was going to be Dr. Will, but Dr. Dustin, you'll explain why with the 12-Man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, tell us the news.
Doctor, give me the news.
All right. Well, thank you, Dennis, Moses, or however people know you. I'm pretty sure you were actually playing guitar during that, weren't you?
I was. Don't call me late for dinner. That's all I ask.
That's awesome. All right. So injury report. So we're going home team first, and by home team I mean Team Posse. This week. I'm not even supposed to be able to do this injury report based on what the doctors told me because I'm not supposed to be able to see anything.
Wow.
I had PRK surgery on Thursday, which is an eye surgery to correct your vision. But apparently I am like Wolverine or Deadpool and I heal super fast, so I can actually see everything clearly already, even though the recovery time is 3 weeks to 3 months. Yet here I am the next day. So
wow, amazing, just
Yeah.
amazing. Well done, Dustin. You are truly bionic.
Dude,
Inspiration.
I'm super surprised and appreciative that I can actually do this tonight.
As are we.
Yeah. So first thing I want to point out, we're gonna go Seahawks first. The first thing I want to point out is that unfortunately we had to put 3 people on IR this week. Bruce Irvin tore his ACL. It sucks. That hurts.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that dude. Everybody was happy to see him come back, and unfortunately, he's out for the season.
And he's never had that before. He wrote on Twitter, it's like a weird. This is so weird because he's never been injured like this, so it's weird.
Yeah, he's getting older, and there's a lot of wear and tear on your body when you play NFL football. He just stepped weird, and there it went. Blair is also out. He was our starting nickelback, not to be confused with the band.
No, let's never do that.
Look at this
He's way
photograph.
better. And unfortunately, he's out for the season. And another torn ACL. And this one was friendly fire, unfortunately. It was a very avoidable situation, but, he's out. His season's over. So Ugo Madi stepping up there. And then we have Philip Dorsett. He was our big wide receiver signing in the offseason. We're all looking forward to seeing him. He's had a foot issue. He went to the IR, but he has the option to come back in 3 weeks. Hopefully they get that resolved and come back because we could use that speed.
Yes.
The next thing, this injury report is kind of weird this week. It's completely different than normal. This one could honestly been one of Will's stories. Tyrod Taylor, not a Seahawk, in case you don't know. Plays for us. No, he doesn't play for San Diego. He plays
LA
for the Chargers. He was starting quarterback, and he was getting this is just such a weird NFL thing, or such a weird injury for an NFL player. He was supposed to be starting last week, and the doctor was going to go in and put in some steroids into his ribs, so he didn't have pain when he's playing. Missed the rib, punctured a lung.
Oops.
Yeah, dude is out for a while. There's no timeline for him to come back, but man, all the best of that guy, man.
Terrible. And he probably was like getting into a starting job and kind of.
Yeah. I feel bad for that guy, man. Yeah. That's a rough one. And it's an avoidable injury, but unfortunately, sometimes when you get procedures, that happens. So, good luck to Tyrod. Hope he comes back and tears it up.
Yeah.
So now to the real thing. Seattle Seahawks. One player out, Rasheem Green. Man, this is concerning.
I think they just put him on IR today.
They did, actually. Yeah, I forgot to throw him on there. But he's out for the game. He's got a neck injury.
Yeah, stinger. Yeah.
It's more than a stinger because a stinger, you just, you deal with it. So a stinger is a stretching of the brachial plexus, and it's a nerve thing, and it affects, how you can use your arm. But if you're going to put him on IR, there's something more going on there. And you have to wonder about structurally how his neck is. So that's something to look out for. Sucks. Then that also hurts the defensive end position, the defensive line in general. We have a lot of people on there that they're a little dinged up, and it was already like the weakest part of our defense. So we moved to questionable. We got defensive end Benson Mayowa has a groin injury. He was limited participation in practice. He's a game time decision. We got Quentin Dunbar has a knee thing going on. He didn't participate in practice. I didn't hear if he's a game time decision or not, but hope he plays.
Yeah.
Cornerback Nico Thorpe has a hip injury. Didn't participate in practice. Another guy that when we called on him in the past, he's been able to step up. So we hope he's available in case, things happen. How does Cedric Will, how do you say that?
Oguehi?
Yeah, he still has that pec injury. But he was limited participation in practice, so all those guys are questionable. Now we go to the Dallas Cowboys. They have one guy out, cornerback
Chidobe
Awazi.
Oh, man, I want to hear him pronounce it, Will.
Yeah, he's got a hamstring owie. He's out. And then they've got two players that are questionable. Defensive end Marcus Lawrence. He has a knee injury. And then tackle Tyron Smith with a neck injury. And if I'm correct, he's their starting tackle on offense, right?
Yes.
Or left tackle, correct?
Sure.
They just list him as tackle on Dallas's website. So, but yeah,
so Jerry really hard, so he gets mad.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dallas is a little bit healthier than us, but I think we'll be okay. So
yeah, I think we'll too.
That's pretty much it for the injury report.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Dustin. Now let's take a look at what the weather's going to be for the game by turning to a guy living in Europe, or in England, I should say. Time for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show weather and fashion report with Matt from Merry Old England. Oh, Matt!
It's raining man.
Yes, thank you, Moses. As you know, I like to try the more traditional methods of telling the weather forecast. These days, it's just too easy to depend upon the internet to tell you exactly what the weather's going to do. It's too accurate, it's too reliable, too damn easy. So I decided to use the Aztec method of appeasing the weather gods, child sacrifice. Now imagine my surprise when I found out that this method is actually illegal.
What?
I was so lucky that policeman turned up when he did.
No.
But in the end, I went with the next best thing, and I bit the heads off 5 jelly babies. Do you have jelly babies in the States?
No, they sound delicious.
Nope,
Well,
but I've watched Doctor Who.
Yeah, just little jelly in the shape of babies.
Delightful.
So, yeah, I bit the heads off.
You guys have weird cuisine. You know that?
I know, coming from a country that eats anything with their horns, hooves, and anyway. So anyway, the green jelly baby was the one that I ate last. So of course we all know what that sign would have meant in ancient Aztec days. That's right, clear skies with temperatures of mild to high 60s, light northeasterly winds with no rain. So that's the weather that I'm expecting, as told by the jelly babies in Seattle this weekend. Now, what to wear for this game? Well, Moses, it is becoming somewhat frustrating for me. Once again, there will be no fans in the stadium, so once again we are forced into sofa fashions. But it's always nice to make the visiting team feel at home. So whenever I think of the Cowboys, I always think of that film, Brokeback Mountain.
Of course.
Or the slightly more X-rated version, Bareback Mountain, but we won't go there. So, of course, find your nicest plaid shirt, a cowboy hat, some boots, set up a tent in the living room, start a fire, and coax your partner into the tent with those "I wish I knew how to quit you" eyes. But just remember, you've got to throw a Hawks jersey over all that, and then you're good to go. All that being said, it looks like it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. So, Moses, back over to you.
Oh man, awesome as always, Matt and Will. Will and Dustin, everybody. Well done. Will, I know you were there in a pinch if we needed you. So I don't know what I just said. But
Me neither.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Dustin.
Yes, sir.
And now, please be upstanding and welcome our own Reverend Moses from the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity for his sermon for this upcoming game. Oh, Reverend.
Yes, this is I, the Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. How is everyone doing this evening?
Doing good, thank you, Reverend.
Doing good. Dustin, your eyes, I am so proud of you, my man. You are truly a healer in Seahawk Positivity, and we thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'm glad to see stuff.
And we're glad that you can be seen and that you can see stuff as well. So we want to thank you for that very much. Now, I hope everyone is truly recovering like Matt or like Dustin. I hope everyone's recovering from the cardiac arrest that was last week's game. Because between that and COVID, we might all be doomed. I'm not sure. But if I go out watching Cam Newton getting cartwheeled into the ground at the one, what a way to go out, huh? That's the way to end my life. That's the way I want to see it. Let's get some church up in here. Friends, I'm so glad to be once again here as we welcome the most overhyped franchise in the NFL into Seattle, and we look to crush their hopes in the name of Seahawk Positivity. Reading from the book of the 2020 NFL season, chapter 3, verses 3 to 12. For soon from the land of the Lone Star and cows did the boys arrive into our land. They were led by he who seeks the whole of glory, and there was no glory for him there. We did rise up mightily and send those with stars back to the land of steers and rustling. They would return to their land broken and defeated, and for those within the one true power of Seahawk Positivity would once again prevail, and woe to those who stand in the way of the one true power of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, this is the word, my brethren. Oh, we have a power that flows within us all. You can feel that power and raise your hands and feel that power. Do you raise it? Go ahead, raise them. Raise them like Michael Irvin in front of a drug dog. Raise them high. Now, if your hands are raised and you believe in the power of Seahawk Positivity, let's hear an amen, nice and loud.
Amen, Reverend.
Oh, and yes, if you believe in the power to give our defense the ability to make Zeke Elliott hide like an Ewok he looks like, let's hear an amen, nice and loud.
Amen.
Go look at the picture. He looks like an Ewok, that poor kid. I love him to death, but he looks like an Ewok. And if you believe in the power to give our offense the ability to hit the holes like Glory Jerry Jones wished he had, let's hear an amen, nice and loud.
Oh, amen.
Yes, that's the power, my brethren. Now put down those hands. We are loud and proud, and there may not be a crowd in the stand, but our presence will be truly felt within those walls. Them Cowboys going to wish they never left Dallas. Cleolanda, honey, get on those keys and play it like it means something. That's my girl. This has been the South Point Reverend Moses, St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. Go forth, spread the good word of Seahawk positivity. Praise Largent, praise Cortez, praise Walter Jones, praise Kenny Easley. And that's the third quarter. You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We'll be back with predictions for the Cowboy game right after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Oh, it is the fourth and final quarter of this Cowboy episode of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. In this quarter, we're going to make our predictions, our prognostications, and, of course, our game balls for the upcoming game between your Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas comes into Seattle a 5-point underdog. Seahawks 5-point favorites in this game. The over-under 56.5. 56. That's 28-28 if you could add, Dustin. I'll do math for you because I know you can't stand math.
Yeah, appreciate that.
No problem. That's a high over. I think our overs are usually 45, 42, 46. 56.5. All right. Sorry. You're a little excited. It's Statsman Mark, if he was here, he'd be freaking out on that right now. All right. We miss you, Statsman Mark. All right, let's take our picks. Team 12 first, Little Mo. 24-20 Seahawks. Russell Wilson, 4 TD passes. That's his prognostication. Game ball to Jamal Adams. Jose. Score 38-31 Hawks. Prognostication Cowboys run a fake on special teams. Game ball to DK Metcalf. Might not be with you on the thread, but go Hawks. We'll miss you, Jose, if you're not there. Mike Pascal, Seahawks 34, Cowpokes 31. Game ball Metcalf. Prediction 2 sacks of Dak. So 2 Dak sacks if you're paying attention. And I say to that, you know, you have 2 Dak sacks.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? 2 sacks. And they lose. Mark, Ty Turner, 51-48 Hawks. Game ball to Olsen, who redeems himself from last week. Oddly, Russ will only have 2 passes on Sunday.
What was that score?
Mark, Ty Turner.
You mean 2 passing touchdowns?
2 TD passes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's only going to throw 2 passes? That'll be an interesting game.
Wow.
2 touchdown passes. I digress.
Say that is a bold prediction.
I digress. Carrie, I've been so busy this week at work, I almost forgot to get her done. Let's go. Seattle 37, Dallas 34. Prognostication, DP, which is Dak Prescott, gets sacked twice by my future ex-husband because Jamal Adams is going to run around those cowgirls like little doggies they are. Game ball to Tyler Lockett. I love that kid. Go Hawks. Jimmy. We all know that I love this opening. Jimmy. We all know the Cowboys were amazing before electricity. Nice. This should have been a Thanksgiving game since Russ is going to carve up that defense. Oh, I see what you did there. Nice. Hawks 33-27. Lockett player of the game with 9 catches. And a touchdown. I'll go with the 9 catches for Lockett. Diggs with a pick. I will not put that in there, but that's nice to know. Andy. Game ball to Metcalf. Prognostication, we score our first defensive touchdown of the season via Jamal Adams. Either interception or a fumble recovery. And Seattle wins shootout 37-31. And Chris for Team Posse. Score 34-24. Prognostication, Adams gets 2 sacks. Adams gets 2 sacks, I should say. Game ball to Metcalf. All right, the rest of Team Posse, and we'll start with Dustin. Dustin, how you feeling?
Good, real good.
Tell me what you got for me here.
I think it's going to be kind of a high-scoring game as well. I'm going to say the Seahawks are going to get into the 40s this week, and they're going to win 42-35.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Nice.
Prognostication. Now, this is going to be kind of a stretch because I haven't heard what's going to happen with this guy yet, but I think I hope Shaquem's going to get called up, and he'll get a sack.
Shaquem Griffin with a sack. I hope you're right.
That's a long shot. But that's
a long shot.
Lots of variables.
Yeah, game ball.
Game ball, I think, is going to go to probably Russell.
No.
I think he's going to throw it all over the field on him.
No.
Try again.
That's right. Those are the rules for this year, isn't it?
Yeah, and last year too.
Yeah.
But who's counting?
Little slow on the uptake there, Dustin.
I don't pay attention to what you say.
Listen, Dustin doesn't feel well, y'all. So
he's got new eyes and he forgets all the rules.
Yeah. No, I meant
He's got Betty Davis eyes.
I mean, wait.
Lord.
All right, so I'll go with I'll say DK. If there's going to be that high of a score, he's going to do some stuff. So
DK is going to do some stuff and get a game ball for you. I hope so.
Yeah.
Hey, Whale.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Very good. What you got for us?
I too am thinking this is going to be another shootout. I'm going to say Seahawks 38, Dallas 31.
Wow.
For my prognostication, I'm doing a redo of last week since he wasn't even active, but will almost certainly be active this week. And I'm going to say Alton Robinson gets his first NFL sack.
You're just going to say that every week until it happens, aren't you?
good.
No, I'm going to at least say it this week though, because at least this week he's going to play.
You hope.
And well, he's all that's left, so he's going to play.
Yeah.
And game ball, I think Quandre Diggs bounces back and has a good game for us. I'm giving him our game ball.
I can see we're down to our last defensive lineman, and Carroll looks down the line, and Alton Robinson standing with his helmet on, and he says, "You," and Robinson says, "Yes." He says, "You, go get that offensive lineman over there and tell him to play defense." You know, you want to go in the game.
Funny side story real quick, though. Speaking of Quandre Diggs, and I know Jamal Adams was mentioned. You see, they asked Jamal Adams about what he thought about Quandre Diggs and all that with last week. Mm-hmm. And he told Quandre, if you do that again this season, you get ejected, to defriend you on Instagram.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. I saw that.
Pretty
that was
funny.
Pretty fun. I did see that. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
What you got for us?
I think we'll have Seahawks 33, Cowboys 24.
All right.
Game ball to Bobby Wagner.
All right.
Prognostication, there will be a safety in this game.
Wow. For either team, so you're just leaving it out there.
I'm just saying there's going to be a safety. I think that's a random enough event.
Well, from that score, it sounds like we're getting it, so I'd be cool with that.
Oh, I hope so. All right. Well, here we go. My turn. Well, cowpokes, it's time to gather around the campfire. Grab some beans. The Cowboys are coming to town, and no holes are safe. So hide your children, and remember, the only good thing to come out of Texas is chili and ZZ Top. Okay, Stevie Ray Vaughan too, but not the NFL, all right? The last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl was 24 years ago. 24 years ago. So long ago, Toy Story 1. Toy Story 1 was in the theaters. And Oasis was introducing us to a champagne supernova in the sky. Oasis was on the charts. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And while we're talking about that franchise calling themselves America Team, can we address this America's Team thing for a minute? I don't know when the vote for this came out, but unless all the electoral votes came directly from Fort Worth, don't flatter yourselves, Cowboys, all right? Giving yourselves a lofty nickname is like labeling yourself the reverend of a mythical church of positivity. I mean, nobody... Oh.
Who would do a thing like that?
But I digress. The Cowboys escaped a loss last week because the Falcons had a bunch of special team players that seemed to think that the new social distancing guidelines applied to onside kicks. It did not, but no such luck this week. Watch my game ball, DK Metcalf, run through the Cowboys' defensive backfield like a bowl of extra spicy chili from Texas runs through your body. Hurts going in, hurts going out. Watch the Seahawks defense cause not one, not two, but yes, 3 turnovers. My prognostication. Oh, Jerry. No glory hole for you. And watch our Seahawks win by a score of Seattle Seahawks 38. Dallas Cowboys 20.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
How about them Seahawks? Book it. Well, looks like it's time to finally bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man Fan Jam show to a close. We're glad you decided to waste some time with us. We certainly hope you laughed a little and maybe learned a little something. What did we learn on this episode? We learned a lot on this episode. We learned how much Fitzpatrick loves playing the Jaguars. We learned what Beast Mode knows about karate. We learned to keep the leash off Russell, unless you're Sierra. We learned Dustin is bionic. And finally, we learned Dustin can win trivia without paying attention to one single question. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, Newsound Shadowhawk Will, Statsman Mark, wherever he may be, Dustin as the Beaver, Roger Goodell, Mosette, Little Mo, Jimmy, Chris, Tom Lucas, Jose, Carey, Mark, Ty Turner, Andy Northern Hawk, Kona, Roger Staubach, Willie Nelson, Hollywood Henderson. This is Moses saying until next time, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
No glory hole for you, Jerry.